Hey, what's up guys? So today I would like to shoot a quick video about this mini tiny Asus ROG G14 series gaming laptop. Thank you very much, buddy. I'm gonna handle it from here. So this little guy here at only 14 inches comes with a Ryzen 7 5800 AMD processor, 16 gig DDR4 memory RAM, GTX 1650 graphics card, and 512 gigabyte of solid state drive. The biggest thing what I wanted to mention is this unit is only about 2 years old. However, it's very budget friendly compared from what I've researched this morning. And basically, in used condition, you can find it anywhere from $450 to $650 US. At 3.6 pounds and 1.6 kilograms, the laptop is very travel friendly. You basically can dump it in any backpack and don't really feel it. And of course, can do all your favorite gamings on the road. So what I wanted to do is, as usual, I would like to remove the bottom side, take the laptop apart just to see what's cooking inside, as well as what we can add, what we can upgrade, and just overall to see how everything looks inside. So subscribe, stay tuned, let's go. On the right side there is one Type-C along with 2 USB ports. On the left side there is a DC jack, full HDMI port, Type-C port, and one audio port. Take a look at this super cool feature. On one side the keyboard lifts up, but on another hand, during a heavy gaming, it will help cool down your laptop much faster as the bottom case lifts up. There is nothing really special I noticed about the keyboard or touchpad, as it's pretty standard for any gaming Asus laptop. But what I want to mention is that the actual plastic, external plastic of the laptop is very well built, as it's pretty sturdy, scratch and mark resistant. Back cover has this really awesome color changing feature, which gives it a little bit more futuristic. But overall, the laptop is pretty cool. So let's start again from the bottom side by removing all screws and pop the bottom case, and let's see what's going on inside. There was nothing really difficult in order to remove the bottom case. All screws were exposed. So, and just by using my pry tool at the top right corner, it popped right out. So let's see what's going on here. So it's pretty, again, for gaming laptop, pretty decent size of the battery. Huge cooling fan. I mean, I think you can even probably cool your small vehicle with that thing. But I guess you need it, especially during a heavy gaming. So first thing first, I will be pulling the battery connector and disconnect it from the motherboard. There is a few screws that we need to remove in order to pull the battery out. Again, I want to mention about the replacement parts. Always look at any part. Let's start from the battery. So there is always will be listed actual part number, which you have to use in order to replace the battery. There's a bunch of information, the voltage, amperage, etc. However, very important part is the actual part number. So there was only one slot for the memory RAM, so the motherboard had 8 gigabyte of memory RAM on board, which is soldered to the motherboard, and additional 8 gigs, so you can actually add probably another 16 if you wanted to. Very interesting setup here. So once you pull the SSD drive, in our case it was the 3rd generation 512 gig SSD, you would see that right under the SSD there is a Wi-Fi card is located. So there is two cables. There are antennas. Antennas are always located inside of the LCD screen. So again, take a look at the part number of a Wi-Fi card to make sure if whenever you're replacing it or upgrading it that it's compatible. And the most importantly, if it's a different model, you might have to install some drivers. Now I'm jumping to the heatsink. Again, there is 25 billion screws which we need to pull in order to remove the heatsink. Always be careful, pull it very carefully. And as you can see here, on the right side, on the actually left side, there is a video cable connection, which I need to pull out, and you would need to use some tweezers. And then the cable goes inside through the heatsink, so you would need to pull the tape out. And once you slide out the heatsink, you would be able to see both connectors for cooling fans, which you need to disconnect. Again, on the right side here, you would be able to see those two antennas, which are under the tape. And here is the heatsink. Very important. Please memorize the location of thermal pads besides the thermal paste for the GPU and CPU, because you would need to reapply that, and the specific placement is very important, as if you're gonna forget to put it, it might not be able to cool down the motherboard completely, and you might have some issues and possible failures. So now I'm disconnecting all the necessary cables and ribbons in order to pull the motherboard out. As far as you can see here, they did a really good job gluing the hell out of the keyboard ribbon. So be very, very careful, as under the ribbon, this little cable here, that's the one for backlight of the keyboard. This connection here is for touchpad, and this battery, that's the BIOS battery. And just for the also for quick information, by removing the BIOS battery, it's not gonna help you remove the BIOS password if it's present. So you know, but if in case you need to replace the battery, if it fails, that's the place. So this is the last connector, which was a little bit difficult to pull because they put this black tape over it, and it was kind of difficult to remove it. And now looks like the motherboard is free to go. Again, I'm gonna take a closer look here and just show you the placement of the thermal pads here, which are blue in color. Very important to memorize that. Again, one memory slot, all the external connectors, they soldered to the motherboard, including the DC jack. So here's the other side of the motherboard. There's nothing really to see here, but just wanted to show you just in case. And here for the Palmrest, there is 3 screws on each side to remove the LCD hinges, and we would be able to pull and separate the Palmrest out. The good thing is, and I'm gonna give you a close-up look here, that on most of the newer laptops, the keyboard and touchpad is not replaceable, so you have to replace the complete assembly. In this case, the touchpad can be replaced separately, and there is again 25 billion screws, but you can actually remove the back plate and pull the keyboard out and replace just the keyboard. So which is good option to have. I'm not going to be taking apart the LCD screen because I mentioned a few times on my previous videos, it's always the best to actually replace, if it fails or breaks, to replace complete assembly. Well, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.